What is up, everybody? Welcome to Missing the Homies, the show where I have a different homie on every month and we just sort of shoot the shit. I am your consistent through line host, Antonio. Um, and if you're hopping in at this point in the game, my lovely guest has just hopped into the Zoom waiting room. So I'm going to run this intro and welcome our guest. And here we go. I'm sure if you see this and this bandage, it'll come up in the conversation. So, hello.
Hi, Antonio. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. It's all good.
Oh, that hotel
I got
Wi-Fi
my
is.
computer like up.
See, I
Yes,
need.
hotel Wi-Fi, hotel lighting.
I need to get like a little stand for my laptop because I feel like mine is sitting a little too low. But maybe I
Looks
can just
good.
use.
I think it looks good.
Thank you. So first off, thank you for coming to um, Renee's grad party. I hope
Yeah, it
you and
was
Michael had a great
wonderful.
time.
What a great family. What a great environment. Very nice. I loved it. I had a fun. We had fun.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
It made me really happy that like Leanne and Jeff got to meet like you and my grandma and like some of my other cousins, like the people who are just like very important to me. Getting to meet
Yeah.
each other, it
Yeah.
was such a nice and fuzzy
I
feeling.
really liked her a lot.
She's so sweet.
She's really nice. I liked her a lot.
She's the best.
Yeah,
Um,
she really is. Yeah.
so what we really came here for,
Yeah.
what we've been building up for, I did it.
That's
I
awesome. I
made it.
love it.
Take a look.
I love it.
So, and then I have yours sitting right here for when you talk about it to reference.
Okay. Yep. I don't know if I figured maybe you could, I wasn't sure if I could share a file. I thought maybe you could share the file if you wanted to
Yeah. So
on the screen if you
what I
want
was
to.
thinking maybe for after, like I'll take a picture since you sent me a picture of yours,
Yeah.
and I have mine. I'll just take pictures of both of them, and while we're talking about it, just like put it in the
Yeah.
video.
That sounds good.
But so do you want to talk about yours first, or do you want me to talk about mine?
Yeah. I'll talk about it. So there's a few things that I found. So I have to be honest with you. Well, not that I would not be honest, but I've been doing vision boards like every year, but I haven't really been totally into it like I should be,
Mm-hmm.
because what happened about 4 years ago is my girlfriend Rhonda and I were together and doing a vision board, and we only got halfway done. We actually went through all stacks and stacks of magazines, and we had like all this, we're going to get back together. Well, then I worked with her. She did my job, the same job that I do, but in Chicago.
Yeah.
And she was like my best friend. She was my BFF. We talked every day, even after work, and went to a few concerts together. Like, she knew Mark and Michael really well, and um, she died unexpectedly. She had a blood clot, and it went to her lungs, and she died. So it was really difficult to go back to this pile of stuff that her and I had worked on.
Right.
So what I've been doing is just creating new ones, because that stuff was like stuff I did with Rhonda, right?
Right.
But when I did this one today, I pulled all the stuff that I pulled with her. So it was really therapeutic, because there were things in there, like there was go back to school, which I didn't have to put on my vision board because
Right.
I'm halfway done with my MBA. So with my
Oh my
master. So I was
God.
like,
That's
it made me, I was like, oh my God, this says go back to school. Like, this is
Like
cool.
like you already saw it and
Yeah. And I didn't
you're following
even,
through on it
yeah, like
now.
yeah. So that was pretty cool. Right.
That's
So it was kind of, and then I had started on it the other day, but then this morning I knew I was flying out. My flight left at 12:30 out of Detroit.
mhm.
And I'm like, you know what? I got a lot of shit going on, but I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna take an hour and go through this because I wanted to, like, I wanted to finish it up and make it look good. And there were a few things I think I'm missing, but for the most part, I think, I captured most of it. And I was really
Yeah.
happy. I was like, and then I thought, well, maybe I should take this to Texas with me. And then it didn't quite fit in my luggage. I thought, I'm just gonna take a picture of it. We can,
Yeah.
that'll be perfect. So,
Well,
so
thank you first. Thank you. That like that oh, that means so much that you just shared that with me. So thank you. And
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry
you're
about your
welcome.
friend, but
Yeah,
that's really
she's
awesome that
she will. So I no, so she is my. So she was incredibly spiritual. I don't know how deeply religious she was because we didn't get into a lot of specific religions, but
mhm,
she was incredibly spiritual and just to do good. Or what happened is one of my girlfriends was looking for a job and she
mhm,
lived in Chicago. And I worked with her at GM for years and years, and she was amazing. And I said, hey, there's a job opening in Chicago. And her name was Terry. And I said, you're going to get it because you're amazing. And so she applied and she went on like 2 or 3 different interviews and she didn't get it. And
mhm.
I was devastated because, first of all, I wanted to work with Terry. I hadn't worked with her in years. And one of my bosses like, yeah, we hired this girl Rhonda. And I'm thinking, who the hell could outdo my friend Terry? There's absolutely no way. This girl must be, you
Yeah.
know flipping fabulous, because there's just no way who could beat her out.
And was
And
she?
then I met her and I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, I still love Terry, but I was
Yeah.
like, now I see why you guys loved her. She was just a perfect fit for the position. And her and I became BFFs. And um, yeah, so she was just so after she passes, I like going, I do, like to, I am into the mystical stuff, and I go and I see this lady who is a
Oh, I
medium.
know. What did
Yes,
you
I go
get?
to,
What did you get? Did you get a like afterlife reading or did you get
it
like
was a, yeah, she's
a
like,
tarot
she
deck?
talks to people on the other side. So
Okay.
she's in Allen Park. She's a medium. And I sit down and she starts, telling me about who's here, who's in the room with us. And Rhonda came, she says, you have a friend. She just passed. She had a blood clot unexpectedly. And she's like, right away. And so she says, and I'm crying, right? She says, well, she's here. She's telling me to tell you that she is going to be your, oh shoot, what do they call that? They call them the, oh, I can't believe I'm going to forget this
Like
now.
a muse, like a
No, well, it's like a muse, but they're spirit guides. That's what it is.
mhm.
She says
Gotcha.
she's your spirit guide, and she is making sure that you're having fun. She's telling me that she's making sure that you're going to have fun, because we used to travel to Dallas like a few times a year, and
Yeah.
she would always upgrade to first class, and I just could never. This was 2013, 2014, and she's
Right.
like, Lisa, you can upgrade for $150 or $100. Do it. You're worth it. Do it. And I'm thinking, no way. I'd rather go to Target or spend my money and, get something
Yeah.
out of it. So, a long story short, I started upgrading, and it's amazing, right? Like, once you
Did you
start
ever
upgrading,
you
it's
never
more.
look back?
You just don't. Yeah. It's like $100. It's like, I'm worth it. Like, I'm worth, you know,
Yeah.
being treated that way and getting drinks and whatever. I mean, this time I had Delta Comfort today when I upgraded, but it was just like $600 to upgrade this time, so I wasn't going to do it. But when it's just a few hundred, I'll do it. But that's Rhonda. Like, Rhonda was the fun police. She was like she's my spirit guide. So the girl who was doing the reading, the lady, she said, "Wait a minute." She said, "She just passed this year," and I said, "Yeah, like 6 months ago." And she says, "This is impossible. She's a spirit guide for many people right now." was she incredibly spiritual? And I said, yes. And she said, she went there and because, if you read a lot about the afterlife,
Hmm.
and I have, and I had learned, there's levels, right?
Yeah.
It's
I
just like
see.
here,
I,
like
I haven't read that much about the afterlife, so I'm like very, but like I'm into all of that. I
you're
just,
open to it. Yeah.
yeah, I just
Well,
don't spend enough time like actually reading into it, so
yeah.
I'm very like interested.
It's just like here. So I mean, we're
Yeah.
all getting we're getting to that. We all want to get to that self-actualization, right? So like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, if you've
Yeah.
read, if you've learned that, you probably learned that in school
Yeah.
and in college. And that is,
Physical, whatever, like
yeah, you get to your,
emotional.
it's the triangle,
Yeah.
Maslow's, and we all want to get to that self-actualization. Some people never get there, right? Some
Yeah.
people just stay at that, they can never get to the, can't get past it. That's
Yeah, that's what
just
it
part of
is.
life, right?
Yeah.
But she was way beyond that. So when she passed, she was already like elevated. She wasn't, because it's the same thing there. Like you don't, I truly believe like when you pass, you're
You're
still
not.
working. You're still
Yeah.
working towards wherever you want to get to, like
Yeah.
to be the angel or a spirit guide or whatever. You're still working on, when
On your
people,
journey that
on your
like
journey, yes,
I
until you come
almost,
back,
yeah, like I think
which
it's,
I totally believe. I know I'm a practicing Catholic, but I do believe in reincarnation, 100%.
no, I think it's funny because like as a joke, like ghosts and like their unfinished business, but like I'm very much, I'm with that. Like
Yeah,
you got stuff that you got to get done, and if you don't get it done in this time, your time kind of rolls over. Like you come back
yeah,
as
yeah.
someone something
It's a
else.
circle of life. It's a circle of life, and you'll come back. And
That's how
um,
like I've, not that I'm, because like I haven't done a lot of reading or like reflecting on like coming back coming back and stuff like that, but there are, like I've gone into like readings and stuff like that, or like just talking to Renee or like my grandma, and like
yeah,
something will happen and I'll get like a feeling, like something that I would really have no reference for or experience for, but I have like a feeling in my gut, like this is right or this is wrong. And I feel like, that has to be from a past time that like that was something I experienced where it's like, oh, I automatically know it, but not this time around.
yeah,
So it's like I
yeah,
feel what you're
absolutely.
saying
Yeah,
on that, and it's so interesting.
I know it is. It's really kind of cool. So I had fun going through the board, and I told Michael he's doing a board right now, and I said when I get home, you better have it done. And the other day, I said, spend an hour on it, and he was
You
kind
know,
of giving me pushback. I said, listen, if you can't spend an hour on something that on your goals for the year, and he's like, Mom, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'm like, okay, but
I
I put
was
it to him that way.
I really like, I'm coming to terms with like a lot of the things that I thought were like woo woo stupid, like, oh, that's for a certain kind of person, that I've just like opened myself up to, because like I've heard of what vision boards were for years,
Mm,
but like
yeah,
in practice it feels like kind of silly because it feels like an arts and crafts project. But
yeah,
like sitting down today and doing it and like being conscious of what I cut out, and like that's why I'm excited to like share it with you, because like in my head, somebody else looking at this, it doesn't make sense, but it doesn't need to, because it makes
right.
sense to me. And
Yes,
like just
exactly.
sitting at like Renee was working, so I was sitting in like her old room, and I just had everything all laid out, and I was just like, I mean, like I had fun with it. Like I had fun like
Yeah,
coming up with the layout and all of that, and it did feel very arts and craftsy to like sit there with an X-Acto knife and cut out exactly what I want. But like I get it. Like it is very woo woo, but like
yeah,
there is a physical aspect to it that like it feels more real to be putting it down
Yeah.
for me to come back to and look at.
Yeah.
So like I'm with Michael that it's like, oh yeah, I'll get to it, I'll get to
Yeah.
it. But it was funny to me, the act of actually doing it. I was like, okay, no, I see why people do it and how you get the
Yeah.
benefit of it. And I just like it was a lot
Sometimes it
of fun.
reminds me of growing up when I was a kid and my mom would put stuff on the refrigerator of things she wanted for Christmas or something. And
Mhm.
I'm like, what is this blender doing up here? What is this necklace doing up here?
Didn't you
It's what I
say
want
that's
for
what Teal
Christmas.
didn't you say that's what Teal Mark does?
He did. Yeah. He put a
He put
Rolex
the
on
he
there.
put the Rolex.
Yeah. He put a Rolex on there. He's so crazy.
Oh. So okay, so the board that you made, was this did you start it from scratch or was this from something that was started with you
Both.
and Rhonda?
I had pulled all the stuff I had pulled off when the last time Rhonda and I did it. And then I had actually had new magazines. And so it was a combination.
Okay.
It's
So
really relevant to what my goals are for this year.
okay, so there's a lot on here. What where I mean, take me where you want to start.
Yeah.
I see
So I will
a lot
start
of
from the top left.
okay.
I will say
Add
that
the add Tia Lisa's vision board right here. That was editor's note.
so I have the woman in easy pose and it's the picture of all her chakras.
Mm-hmm.
So I like,
Is that what that's called? Easy pose, just sitting crisscross
well,
applesauce?
crisscross applesauce. Yeah, easy pose is what we call it in yoga. Indian pose when it's in, not supposed to
Yeah.
say that anymore, but easy pose or crisscross applesauce. Yes.
Okay. I'm
uh,
with you.
yeah. So I love the idea of keeping my chakras and, I'm really into crystals and I want to make sure that I have, I even travel with them. So I'm just cognizant of my chakras and the energy that is around me more so today than, I've always been, but more so today than ever. I think I really have been doing a good job of keeping uh, my
Your
space,
chakras aligned.
yeah, and my space clean, like, just trying to be around um, positive, influential people,
Mm-hmm.
because, when you, in anything, like if it rubs off, right? When you're around people who are constantly complaining, or you're around, Mark's dad used to say, if you're playing in dirt, you're going to get dirty, right? It's the same thing. If you're with people who are not aligned with what your values are, then it's just not good for you. It's not healthy.
Yeah. Either you start to forget what your values are or you
Yeah.
start to slip
Yep.
and those other people's
Exactly.
values become
Yeah.
yours. That's
And then
part
declutter. What was that?
I was just going to say that's like partly of why I stopped working with my boss. Like I didn't
Yeah, you have to make some priorities. It's yeah.
I'm with you. Okay, so
Yeah.
then we're at declutter
So declutter, that's a constant thing right now because
because of all the magazines laying everywhere.
no, it's more than that. We had some we had a lot of deaths in the family over the last 10 years, which um, caused like my husband to accumulate stuff and me to accumulate things. And then we had some issues in our basement. So we just, I have to do some work. Um, and then get away and play. So I am always about that, like taking time to do something and going and play.
Yeah.
Meal planning is a struggle. So it's something that I have to like work on like Saturdays and Sundays and just like meal plan for the rest of the week. And it really needs to be just more than me. So like Mark and I have been talking about, all right, what can you do that is going to help me do that? Because he works in the basement all day and we have a deep freezer and he buys, he goes to Costco and he buys steaks and hamburger meat and whatever. I said,
Yeah.
we need to just work together on, you pull out the meat, we figure it out, and that kind of stuff. Let me see, what's the one right over there? Does that say
The
garage?
garage shape up.
So that's part of the decluttering. Our
Mm-hmm.
garage needs some shaping up. And then if you go over to the left, I have some sinks and countertops because that's kind of my goal this year, is to either get some new sinks and countertops at home or up north.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have like a closet there with cleaning stuff. So I'm in the process of trying to figure out like where all that stuff goes, because
Right.
my house has been like we've reorganized some of our closet space, and now I need something like that.
Yeah.
So
Coming back to the decluttering and organizing.
yeah. And
Gotcha.
then
It says seeds of change down there.
seeds of, I don't know why I need to zoom in on this. Hold on, let me see if I can zoom in, because for some reason, photo, oops. Let me see if I can make this bigger.
You're good. Oh, yeah.
No, it's not letting me, so let me see. Oh,
Can you do it on your phone?
oh yeah, that's a good idea, because I don't need to see it here.
Yeah, or your iPad. You know.
I know, but I didn't, you know what? I didn't bring my iPad. I don't know. I can do it on my phone right here. So let's see. Let me see what's.
I'm just kidding, because I have mine. I try, since I pulled the trigger on my iPad, I have to justify using it every single time I
Oh
use
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. You're right. You need to. Oh yeah, seeds of change. You can plant the future of your dreams when you act
With an
with an understanding of. See, I don't have my reading glasses on.
With an
With the
understanding of karma.
understanding of karma. So just like understanding that, you know, this whole thing is about planting my seeds, right? This whole document is about understanding that this is me saying, okay, time to make some changes or adjustments, or go towards the stuff that you want to finish, or the things that you want to do, what's important to you. So the bottom here, it says Invisalign. So I have Invisalign, and um, it's been, I'm really a bad Invisalign student or customer.
Oh,
Yeah, so I have to like start wearing them again. So that's a
yeah.
problem. And I have a Pilates machine downstairs. So I really need to get like going on practicing my Pilates, and then heart opening yoga is like one of my favorites. So I put heart opening yoga, and then I put building core strength, because that's important to me. Moving up. This one was one of my favorites. So, okay, I have the garage shape up, and there's a picture of a garage. And then I like this one. It says, take your time. So that is me all day long, because I hate being rushed, just
Right.
I really can't stand it. So in order for me to be able to take my time, I need to, you know, be friends with time, right?
And
Be
work,
friends with
is
the
that
time.
what those time tools and the clock
Yes,
are?
it's all about time tools and the clock. Like I need to structure things so that I can take my time, right? I like easing into things, and I think, you know, you can make a lot of mistakes when you're rushing doing things. So
Yeah.
that's what I did today. Like I took my time, you know, finishing this up, and I structured time in the morning so that I could get it done before I left. And
That's what
um
I've had a really hard time structure, like managing my time like that, because I
yeah,
would always either overestimate or underestimate. Like I would sit and I'd be like, "Oh,
always.
I could finish this
Yeah.
vision board in like 30 minutes if I really tried." But really,
Everything takes long, it takes twice as long as what you think.
and that's what I was going to say. Like
Yeah.
in reality, I was like, I'm going to I have a good chunk of time. I'm going to do whatever I can do in a couple hours. And it took me like
Yeah.
2.5 hours.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I'm getting better at structuring that time.
Yeah. So I thought
Um,
that was good. And then I need to redo my closet. So I have some pictures of closets and shoes. So that's like part of something that is top of mind for me. follow
Mm-hmm.
your path into teaching. I really need to get back into teaching yoga. I'm always better when I have that when I'm really teaching. I
Mm-hmm.
love teaching, and then I kind of, because of class and because my board work and because of full-time work, and just gets put down at the bottom of the list. So I need to make time for that.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. I have shelves because I'm really into those invisible shelves, and I want to figure out space where I could do that.
Are you talking about
Move.
like the shelves that just hang, or are you talking about
Yeah,
like the openness of like
the
no
open.
cupboards?
Yeah, no cupboards. Yeah, I want to do some of that up north,
Gotcha.
like the open shelving like that, no cupboards.
I always like the look of that. I feel like I feel like
Yeah,
it's easier.
yeah, I like it too. Um, befriend your fears. So I did something a few years ago, and I really was trying to focus on. This is a really funny story because you're gonna love it because your grandma. How much time do we have? I don't want to.
Uh, 28.
Okay, I'll tell you next time.
We got
We'll
another 12. No,
take-
no, 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 no. So what I was thinking, because I don't want to rush you and I don't want to
Yeah,
rush me,
yeah.
let's just run out this timer. We can talk
Okay,
about we can talk about yours and we could pick up another day this week to do mine. Cuz
okay,
I'm not in any rush.
okay.
Like you said,
I'm good with that.
I don't want to rush it. I can be long-winded too, so I don't want
Okay,
to cram it into 12 minutes. So, okay,
okay,
tell me your funny story.
okay. Well, I'm gonna go through the rest of this first, and then I'll do
Okay.
the befriend. Okay, so the open shelving, peace of mind. I put the lady doing yoga because that's what yoga does for me. It's I don't want to piss anybody off and say it's my church, but it really is. I mean, there's days that I go to a yoga class and I lay there, and it's incredibly spiritual. It can sometimes bring me to tears. It's just becoming one with yourself, and
See,
opening things up in my body that need opening, where I hold
like tension.
yes, but in those areas that you hold tension is emotion. So it's a beautiful thing. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, 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 no. I didn't want to cut you off, but Renee has also told me that, and I've heard through because I've looked into yoga and I've tried doing yoga with Renee a couple of times, and not that I don't enjoy it. It's it's a lot harder than
Oh, it
I
is. Yeah.
originally thought.
Right.
And
Yeah. And there's hardly any movement. Like there's sometimes you can just do 5 poses and you're like, holy moly.
yeah, like the one
Yeah.
time we did it during quarantine, I was like, I'm not strong enough for this. I don't have I can't hold my breath or control my breathing like that. But I remember her saying that she had a session one time and it brought her to tears. So you saying that is so interesting because
Yeah.
not that I don't believe it, but I can't imagine myself doing that and it bringing me to that point. And I think that's
It's
so
not tears of
interesting.
pain. It's like tears
No, no,
of, yeah. It's like
it's
it's
because
your
there's
sleep.
emotion that's locked and I've read about it and like looked into it.
Yeah.
And I think that's so interesting because I have never experienced that. I wouldn't even think that that was real if somebody who it had happened to didn't
Yeah.
tell me. So I like
If you
that's
go
always
to a hip
interesting.
opener class, like if you start going to a yoga class with other people, don't be surprised if there's people like, wailing. And I've been there where classes where there's 30 people in there, and a good 10 of them are just crying. They can't control it. You can't control
See,
it.
that's so interesting. I would love
Yeah.
to like find out what that release is like because it wasn't until I had a really big problem uh for years. I couldn't cry. Like no matter how hard I tried, my body wouldn't release it. And then there was one, oh my gosh, it had to be, I don't know how many years ago. Me and Renee watched Coco, the Disney movie.
Yeah.
and I wept, like ugly sobbed. I couldn't control it. And I just was like,
Awesome.
it was like a crazy release. I was like scared because I had never had that kind of release. And I was like, like now, whenever I'm like very overwhelmed, Renee's like, do we need to throw on Coco for you to like let it go? And I'm like, no, 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 I can't. So that just release is like so interesting to me. And I would like
Yeah.
to get to that point.
I had a Thai massage one time, and I'm going through the motions of this Thai massage, and we get halfway through, and all of a sudden there's just tears coming out of my, like, just tears. I won't stop. And the guy who's doing the Thai massage is like, "You okay?" And I said, "Yeah." He's like, "You know why this is happening, right?" And I said, "Yeah, I do." And he's like, "Okay, this is good. You know, if you're releasing, the work that he was doing on my body was working."
Mm-hmm.
And it was uncomfortable for a minute, right?
Yeah.
But it was because it was just him and I. It's different when you're in a yoga class, but it was just him and I really didn't know him that well.
Yeah.
But so
Yeah.
anyway,
So
the picture of go ahead.
no, so I'm following along with you. So
Yeah.
we're at the yoga pose,
Yep,
higher
higher
ground.
ground. That's how it makes me feel. Then there's more shelves, and then photos at the top. So I'm in this midst of like reorganizing years and years and years of photos. So that's like I couldn't even believe that I found that little snippet in one of my magazines.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to get some new space for my work at home. Um, I need to be out of my living room, and I need to be in a different space.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that. And then we love canoeing and kayaking. So I found that we love being on the water. So I threw it in there. So, okay, befriend your fears. So
Yep.
a few years ago, I it was New Year's resolution kind of thing. And I said, you know what? I need to be outside my box, and I need to, tackle things that I'm afraid of. And I didn't know what that was, right? I didn't say, oh, I want to do this, this, and this because I'm afraid of it. I just said to myself and told Mark, I need to step outside my comfort zone and do things that I'm afraid of and that I don't normally would like to do, right? So this is like January. February, end of February, beginning of March, I get a call from my boss at work, and she says, Lisa, last year you were RBM of the year, which is regional brand manager. You were RBM of the year, and you and Eva got an award, and we're sending the sales team to Bermuda, and we have 2 extra seats, so we want to send you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking to myself, I am not fucking going to Bermuda. And so, because that means I have to go through the Bermuda Triangle, right? And I'm fuck no, like I'm not
Oh my
doing that,
gosh,
right?
that would be so awesome. I mean, I'm very scared of the Bermuda Triangle, but that would be
Me too,
cool.
right? So this is the same year that
Oh
I'm
hell
turning 50.
no.
This is the
Okay.
same year I'm turning 50. And this is when your mom and I and a few other folks all decide we're going to go to Mexico, right?
I was
Later in
gonna say,
that year, like in October. We're planning on doing this in October, but this
yeah.
is like earlier in the year that you're going to go on if you want to go on this cruise. First of all, it was a cruise and the Bermuda Triangle, and I
It
don't
was a
like either one of them. I
it
had
was a
never been on a cruise. Yes,
cruise in the
and
Bermuda Triangle?
two, like, you fly out of New York and then
Oh
you
hell
go to the
no.
Bermuda, and I
Okay,
was
I'm
like,
with you.
no, no, and no. Like I don't even like cruises. I've never been a fan of cruises. I've never been on a cruise. I could have been on a million cruises. I choose to do other things,
Yeah.
right? I don't,
Do
it's
you
not
not
my,
like cruises
my
because the water?
no, I don't like cruises because I'm not a big gambler,
Okay.
and I'm not into buffets. And that's all, like, in the show. So it's the shows, buffets, and gambling. And it's like, no, like I don't want to do that, right? And then
Because
you're
I
spending
am
it, and there's
terrified. I'm
germs
terrified of
everywhere.
big boats like that only because like if they were to be stuck out in the ocean, I am like deathly terrified of the ocean. Like I there's just so
Yeah,
much that we don't know about it. It freaks me out. So
right.
being on a boat, if that were to like something were to happen,
Yeah.
I'm stuck out in the middle of the
We
ocean.
all saw the Titanic, I mean, it could
Exactly. I
happen,
can't deal
right?
with that. I can't deal with that. So
Yeah,
okay,
and
so
so
you
I
said no.
just don't want to go through the Bermuda Triangle. I didn't want to do any of it. Well, I just thought to myself, are you kidding me? Like, this is this is the universe and God, and everybody's saying, you want to face your fears, Lisa. Here you go. You're stepping outside your comfort zone. And so here's a perfect example of how Mexicans are so, I think, are so superstitious. I was telling your mom
Mhm.
about, going to Mexico, not your mom, your grandma, about going to Mexico, and, and things were, just like they are today, right? People are always worried about you going to Mexico because it's dangerous.
Yeah.
But when I told her I was going to Bermuda, she freaked out. Like, she was more afraid of me going to Bermuda than going to Mexico. She's like, "Oh, you'll be fine in Mexico." I know you're not going to Bermuda, the Bermuda
That's
Triangle.
that is so crazy. So, did you wind up going or did you not?
I did. I ended up going, and it was fun. I really enjoyed the cruise more than I thought. But I'm not, all the people that we were on the cruise with, they were, and that's the other thing. You get unlimited drinks. So I'm not a big drinker. I'm not a
So,
big gambler.
so you're
I mean, if you
shit-faced
drink a lot and you
gambling.
gamble, that's the place to go, right? You should be on going on cruises, and
Yeah.
it's worth it, right? The money that you pay and all that stuff, it's worth it. But for me, it just
It's
wasn't.
not. Yeah, it's not worth it for
Yeah.
you.
But I
That's
think I
so
would do
crazy
it
though.
again. Like, I was telling Michael about it. He's never been on it. What I did like is I liked all the pool, like all the different pools, and like some of the shopping they had, and
Mhm.
you know,
See,
it,
I would want to go on a cruise like that because I feel like it would be a cool experience,
it
but it
is.
freaks me out so much.
Yeah, it is a good experience. But this was pre-COVID, right?
Oh
And
yeah,
then,
the
yeah,
it's not the same.
yeah, that's a little different. But I'll tell you, it was wash your hands every 5 minutes. I mean, it was incredibly, I mean, it was a precursor to like what COVID taught us. It's taught, how to stay
Yeah.
clean and sanitize and all that stuff on the boat, because they've had so many instances where people were sick. And
Yeah, and with
so,
such close quarters, some one person gets sick, the whole
yeah,
boat is
yeah,
infected that fast. That makes sense.
yeah.
Let me see. Is there anything else that I like how right in the middle, like almost because it feels like there's no rhyme or reason to your vision board, which no like no judgment. I just think it's funny. Right in the middle, it says "Conquer Chaos," and I'm like,
Yeah,
beautiful. That is like the
yeah.
cherry on top.
Well, so Virgos really, really, like, they hate chaos. But like, I can clean my room and make things all perfect because that's the way I like it. But then if I'm getting ready to go somewhere like a trip and I'm packing, I can create the biggest chaos in my room. And Mark will just say, "What happened? Like, you were an
It was
hour
just
ago, it was
clean.
really clean." I'm like, "I know, I don't know what I did." But then I have to start it all over. So I can create a lot of chaos for
Hmm.
sure.
So you're just trying to live in it.
Yeah,
Try
I just need to
to
conquer it. I just got to conquer it, and find things to, you know, put things like, little things like organizing your closet, right? Like, one of my friends was like, "You need to put all your leggings like this and like that." I'm like, "Oh, really? Okay." And then I try it and I'm like, "That's not cool." Because if you want the fifth one down or
right.
sixth one down, you got to, yeah, that just doesn't work. So you have to find tools that you can do that what you
It's
want.
about creating your own chaos to live in. That makes
Yeah.
the most sense for you.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, Lisa, thank you for sending me your vision board and talking it out.
Yeah.
Um, I say
I
that
love
so
it.
I say that so abruptly because we're at less than a minute and we keep
Okay.
cut off.
Okay. I love you, Antonio.
I
I
love
miss
you too. We will
Had so much
talk,
fun.
and I have mine already. So
Okay, just let me know. Send me some more times. I'm here
sounds
till
good.
Friday, but I can make some time like late in the evening like this when I'm done with whatever we have going on, because every night we have an event.
Perfect. We will
Okay.
talk soon.
All right, Antonio.
Love
Bye.
you.
I
Bye.
love you too. Bye.